It is loud and it is wet here, Coach, as we welcome you inside CenturyLink Field on a patented rainy afternoon in Seattle, Washington. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the leading rusher for the Pats last year is a rookie, Sony Michel. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Allen to throw it. He finds Hearns left side. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And hopefully for both sides, not a sign of things to come, Charles. This morning, it was so perfect outside, but we knew this weather was coming, and we see the effects of it here early on.
And I wonder if how perfect it was this morning has psychologically fooled everyone. You know, it's almost like even though we were told the weather was coming, and you know the teams knew it as well, that maybe they got fooled and thought, it's going to be okay. And now they're probably a little upset that it's out there.
Because warm-ups were dry.
Oh, well, dry. Now you got to make the change up, and it's the first quarter. Might take them a little time to settle in on their focus and concentration.
Throwing now is Allen. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. And he's able to bring it out 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10. Here's a guy coming off a strong rookie season, Gus Edwards. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Here we go. 180!
They'll go back to Edwards on 1st down. He'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
A good run got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3. Garoppolo. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Here we go. Black 80!
Watch the curl.
They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
This drive starts out on the ground with Michelle. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they've got to be thrilled to have this game still at 0-0 after the interception thrown on the very first play of the game.
They certainly do. And what I enjoyed was watching him on the sidelines, because as the defense came off, he was there to congratulate them and really say thanks, because he threw the interception. It didn't turn into any points.
Mike. 319!
Check 55. Mike. Here we go, T. Here I come.
On second down, Michelle. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Allen. Throw left side complete. It's Jacobs. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Now Benjamin. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division, looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs, so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Mike 52.
Edwards now on 1st and 10. In on the stop defensively, Raekwon McMillan.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Here we go. On
2nd down, it's Edwards. And And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. They lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down. He stayed afloat for a second there after the first wave of contact, but that was going nowhere.
Yeah, what did he tell us in pregame? I just don't want to get my feet stopped initially when I'm trying to make a run. That's exactly what happened there. Unfortunately, as you noted, got away a little bit from the first one, but the wave swarmed him under.
Here we go.
The Bucs with an extra defender now in the secondary here on 3rd down. Working from the gun, Garoppolo completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And he will be marked down short of the first as they get to him at the 29. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, the big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
If it was sunny, maybe this is a field goal attempt. But with the rain, they're going to go for it on 4th down. They'll run for it. It's Edwards. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration.
1st and 10 at the 24-yard line.
We're scoreless after 1. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here as they've got it with a 1st and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Here's Garoppolo to throw. Over the middle to Kittle, complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. The Seahawks moving pretty well through the air. Another 1st down. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. 1st and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting. Pick a play you think they would run here and just load up for it and see what happens.
An inaugural trip to the red zone here for the Seahawks. They're looking at a 1st and goal from about the 9. They'll run here with Edwards. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal.
Let's go, D.
Check 50. Check 50. 21. 21.
52's the mic.
Hey, we're pretty quiet, D. We're pretty quiet. Hey, Mike 52. Mike 52.
Again, it'll be Edwards. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
They allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff them for a loss. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Here we go. 180.
third and goal. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Grady Jarrett in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Now McManus will line up for the field goal. This a 33-yard attempt. And McManus able to put it through. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. Been a bit of a dogfight thus far into the second quarter now, and we do have our first points, a field goal.
Yeah, a lot of people say, wow, first action on the scoreboard, about time. To me, the action's been right there on the field, trying to figure out who could gain an advantage, gain some field position, finally get points on the board. I'm loving this kind of game.
It feels like kickers might play a big role in this one.
Yes, make sure you give them the respect they deserve. They could cost you a game or win you one.
At their own 24-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
On second down, Michelle. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Michelle. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. So the shotgun snap to Allen. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
Well, it's 3rd down. You're in a tight game in the loudest stadium in the NFL, and it's enough to rattle even the most seasoned of quarterbacks. And here, it looks like he's not quite on the same page as his receiver. This will wind up a turnover.
Here we go. 180. Here we go. Single. Motion. Watch 10. Tight end to the right, boy. Tight end to the right. Move. Check. Fresno. White.
They'll run on 1st down. Edwards. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 11 yards there and a 1st down for Seattle.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. 180! I don't think you got it, son.
Now a run with Edwards. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
The penalty moves him into the red zone here on 1st and 10.
Watch the flag, watch the flag.
A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Edwards. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
At the 13-yard line.
Second quarter, 2 minutes remain. 3-0 our score.
You got it. You got it. Ha ha, you got it.
The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Like 80! Watch the twist, watch the twist.
From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Josh Reynolds, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6.
Any return that gets you to midfield is a great return. 1 first down, and you're almost in field goal position.
At their own 42-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. And that will be incomplete. problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Check me out, check me out. Check 9, check 9.
Now it's Edwards. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. The Seahawks on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5.
Check safety, check safety.
Looking to throw, Garoppolo. And he'll find Washington. That's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They get 17 on that one, move the chains, first down Seahawks. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half.
Here we go. Like 20.
Garoppolo now, first down throw. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however, and let's see what that's about. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
Here we go. 180. 56. Hey, tighten down. There you go.
On first down, Garoppolo. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. Now, I know it's an emotional game, Charles. You can't do that.
And when you get into your film sessions and you argue your case with your coaches, that's exactly what they say at the end. You just can't do it. It costs your team.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. 180!
Snap. We ain't beginning to tear you up. Don't get nervous.
Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. And it's complete. He gets this one to Washington. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Jimmy Garoppolo with his second touchdown pass of this first half. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off the squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And that makes our score 17-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This will be taken short. And they're going to have very poor field position as he's out of bounds at his 7-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spend the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Now they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20. To throw, it's Garoppolo. And his throw's going to be incomplete. George Kittle, the Pro Bowl tight end, the intended receiver, but it'll be 2nd down. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Throwing now is Garoppolo. And this will be incomplete. George Kittle, the receiver that he was looking for. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10. And I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Garoppolo gets it to Benjamin. It's caught. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
Here we go. Check back. Watch tight end. Tight right. Hey.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. They'll find a man over the middle. It's Washington. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Washington. A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 48-yard line.
Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. This is Edwards. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Here we go. 180. Let's go, tackle. Let's go. We got this.
Garoppolo on 1st down. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3. Garoppolo now. To the right side and complete to Washington. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Garoppolo 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
Mike 52. Check back.
Garoppolo looks to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Give the sack to Kamoko Toure. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well, and that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
So 2nd and long, you got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. To throw is Garoppolo. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on third down. Garoppolo connects with Kittle underneath and taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Garoppolo now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. A tough run gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
Here we go.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They run once more with Edwards. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They come out here in the eye.
I'm on. Double tight, guys, double tight.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Gus Edwards, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. Here the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Extra point from McManus is good. And the lead is now 24. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. And it's Michel once again. Bringing him down defensively, Jayon Brown.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Allen going to try and throw on 3rd down. He finds Hearns left side. And he will have the first down, but he winds up paying for it pretty good. 3 quarters in the books. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this. They still got
Allen now on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Allen's throw is complete, and he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards.
Check. 55 to Mike. Watch the run.
Throwing is Allen on third. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off at the 39. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line.
Partner's bad enough when you just can't hold on to the football. But when your quarterback's throwing it to the other team, that's 3 interceptions now, 4 turnovers for the game. You really have no chance to win the football game.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. That turnover might just about do it. Here, fourth quarter, the lead that you've got, they can just run the football, run the clock.
Exactly right. They played smart, couple of first downs, and this one should just about be over.
Flushed out right, and he'll slide down to avoid the contact. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Here we go. 180.
On second down now, it's Edwards. 7 yards there and a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Here we go. 180. 152. Hey, keep it up. Wide. Get wide.
Here's Edwards. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
Throwing on first is Garoppolo. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. And the incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
He'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Here we go. 180.
Silver.
Again, it's Edwards. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Pete Carroll, no stranger to rolling the dice. He'll roll it again. Fourth down, they're going for it.
Even. 4 down. Even. Hut. 52. Mike 52. Hut. No. Check that. We want Mike 52 right here. 52. Hut. Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? Heavy? Give me some.
Garoppolo going to go on fourth down. Reynolds with a catch out on the right side. And he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And he returns it to the end zone. A fumble recovery touchdown for the Bucs. Yeah, so hold the phone here, Charles. I'd kind of written them off, but after that touchdown, it's certainly a long way still to go, but stranger things have happened.
Well, when you're going to have big second-half comebacks, plays like that have to be involved.
So we've got a challenge. Our referee's going to take another look on the tablet. He's going to be watching to see if the knee was down prior to the ball coming out.
Now, I love what you just said there. You nailed it, because if the ball's shifting or moving before the knee or any other part of the body hits the ground, then that'll be considered a fumble.
Here we go. Left 80!
Come on. You better break.
65.
Check.
On first down, it's Edwards. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning.
Here we go.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. On the crossing route, complete. That's Reynolds. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. Defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
Here we go. 180!
I got one.
Garoppolo to throw on 3rd and 1. Steps away. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. And, Charles, they only needed a yard there. They try to pass the football. What do you think?
Well, I can't really go all out and kill them for the call, because that 3rd and 1 fake and throw it over the top for a big play, that often does work. But in this situation, the pressure got to him.
And Pete Carroll looks like he likes his chances with the offense on the field. They're going for it on 4th. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. That's complete right around the 8. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. They get 6 yards going for it on 4th, and now it's 1st and goal. They come out here in the eye. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone can stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This is taken at his 4. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
The Bucs take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Mike 54.
To throw again on 2nd down. Allen. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. This one winding toward a conclusion. And how would you assess how the secondary is played?
Well, we just saw them take another shot downfield that was incomplete, correct?
Correct.
So my assessment is that if anyone's played really well in this game, it's been the secondary. That was the latest example.
Yeah, they've been solid. Really, the whole defense has been solid. Still pitching a shutout. On the ground, Michel. And he's got the 1st down as he's up to the 45-yard line. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on 3rd down. Here's Allen on 1st and 10. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the 4th quarter here. You've held the team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job.
Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league.
Allen again here on 2nd and 10. Flush to his right. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. The Bucs on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. So the shotgun snap to Allen. Steps away to his left. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Now look at this, 4th and 12, and they're going to line up to go for it. Allen will look to throw for it on 4th. Amendola catching it left side. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop him with 13 seconds left to play. So the 14 yards actually takes him from 143 to the other for 1st and 10.
You gonna see me in your nightmare.
From the gun, it's Allen. And he'll get that to Michel, complete. And whistles, and they take their final timeout with 7 seconds left. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. So the victory here for Seattle. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets.